Hey, everybody, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I'm your host, Dave,
And I'm your other host, Don.
and we have a show for you tonight. I didn't know what we were going to talk about, and then the Marvel Lords reminded us that uh, we got our Ironheart series out there. I was like, oh, okay, so we're going to talk about Ironheart. Plus, we've got uh, the last trailer for Fantastic Four, which I think we both want to talk about that a little bit. There's a
Mhm.
tiny bit of Star Wars news that came out, more of a rumor, but I think it's worth talking about. And um, it's there's been a confirmation of sorts about Doomsday in a recent interview. Oh, look, Kassan is back again. Hello, Kassan. So that is what we're going to be talking about. Sounds good to me. Does it sound good to you, Don?
Sounds great.
All right. So what's new with you? Anything new since Sunday night?
Well, obviously, we saw a new series. And Kassan here has a question. Yep.
Yeah.
You guys are actually watching Ironheart? Yeah, we watched
Yeah.
all 3 episodes. So
Yep.
stick with us, Kassan, and we will tell you all about that. But since our last meeting, I started to watch the third season of Bleach Thousand Year Blood War, which is cool. Next
Hmm.
we watching Ironheart stuff. Um, New trailer. But what was exciting is that obviously, as you announced on our last show, it's official. We're Superhero Speak YouTube show is headed to New York Comic Con. Even gonna have a special guest with us, and the emails are starting to kind of roll in as far as like who's
Oh
going to be
yeah.
there. And I checked that out, and so James McAvoy, I definitely, because this time around I want to be less shell shock and maybe actually meet some of these celebrities. Um, and there was a other slew of ones: Elliot Page,
Hmm.
Bryce Dallas Howard, which I'm a fan of in multiple ways,
Well, yeah.
and uh, particularly when she's not super skinny. But anyway, that's not important. Um, so yeah, so there you go. I know it's kind of cool, kind of scouting it out a little bit better than I did last time.
Yeah. I mean, little inside baseball. Once you get uh, approved to be press at something like this, you're put on every PR mailing list that's involved with New York Comic Con, and they start sending out stuff right away. We actually got an invite to something last weekend in New York, some kind of premiere or something, and it's like, well,
Uh,
unfortunately, they're all like you get them last minute, and they're all in
yeah,
New York, and it's like,
maybe we should
um,
move to New York.
no,
Yeah, no,
no, it's a nice place to visit, but I don't think I'd want to
right.
live there. So yeah, that's it'll be exciting. Anything else, or you just
That's it,
trying
man.
trying to
That's it.
prepare?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. We're gonna try. We tried last year and it didn't come through. We're trying again this year. Well, we'll keep our fans informed. We are submitting ideas to do a panel. We want to do a panel at New York Comic Con, and um, not a superhero speak panel because I don't know how many people would come to that, but
Right.
and a comic related panel that we can host, like we do the podcast, and we're trying to get some people lined up to do that. I think we have enough friends that are going to be there that'll be interested in doing it. So um, we'll more on that as we figure things out. What does Kassan say here? Philly is like a train ride away. Dave, stop being lazy. Oh my goodness. Yes, it's like a 2 to 3 hour train ride away, and um, we'll see. And it's nothing. Look, also, it's not like if it was, oh, come see Fantastic Four a week early at a theater in New York, I would be on a train. I guarantee it. This is like plays and stuff and things that you guys don't care about, that it doesn't interest you. So, like, trust me, if it's comic related, I'd be there. Oh, years ago, because and we haven't gotten like anything like this in a while, but years ago we had gotten to see Wonder Woman almost a week early, and
Oh, wow.
And we got to see the Power Rangers movie for free when that came out, um, which I don't know how good of a thing that was, but
You know what? I never saw it.
you never.
And my brother, who is a diehard Power Rangers, he was like not mad at it. He was a little bit disappointed that they weren't going to continue it.
It could have
Not-
been. It could have been a little bit better, and I don't think it was well marketed. To be honest with you, like, because I don't think they knew who they were marketing to. Because this was a completely new take on the Power Rangers, based
Yeah.
on the based on the '90s TV show, and yeah. So, but it's funny if you ever watch any of the behind the scenes stuff of the Power Rangers, like the reason that there was a new team all the time is because the actors for the first season were like, we're not getting paid enough, and people left. So then they brought in other Power Rangers, and then they had this idea like, well, they do it in Japan. There's a new team every time the show comes out, so we'll just do that here. So,
yeah. Except for what David Yost, who played Billy, he stuck on. I remember that much. He stuck on for like 3 or 4 of those shows before finally he was gone. So he must have been willing to work cheap.
Yes, Kassan, you're very refined. Yes, you stroke your beard like I am. So other than that, I don't have. I mean, just getting ready for like it's weird because people are going to go, it's October, and it's like, no, there's things I got to start doing now to get ready.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to order a couple new T-shirts. I'm actually might take this opportunity to switch from Spring to one of the other vendors for the shirts. The only reason I went with Spring was I was able to adjust the art to like almost any size I want it, where a lot of them restrict the size of the image that you can use. But I'm going to talk to some of the other podcasts and see who they're using if they have any issues, because how long did it take to get your Superhero Speak shirt?
Oh, I don't even want to say.
Okay, yeah, all right, but it's taken a while. Spring got bought out by someone else, and they've been terrible ever since that happened. So yeah, I'll probably take this opportunity to switch vendors and then order new shirts for New York. The same designs, it'll just be a different vendor. I'm not going to mess with designs right now, so we'll see. Yeah, and then just been working and hanging out with the girlfriend, and that's about it. So
well, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, she was cranky last night.
I know all about that.
Maybe not so good for me.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, she's like, I have to go to Walmart. You want to join me?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." And it's always a long trip in Walmart. And then like we're getting towards like getting ready to like leave, and she still had to get a couple things, and like you could just see she was done,
Yeah.
And then it was just like she calls it the bipolar roller coaster. Let's because she just gets cranky when she gets tired. And I was just like, yeah. So but enough about that, because if she ever watches this, I'll be in trouble. All right. In fact, speaking of the dark side, that sometimes women go through, sometimes you go through that, Don.
Oh boy.
So here's Darth Don. Tell you, and you can find more Superhero Speak.
Darth Don here. You must subscribe to Superhero Speak if you haven't already. And if you have already, make another account and subscribe again. You also will like this video. And while you're on the HoloNet, go to superherospeak.com. Find the links to our merch and purchase one of our shirts. Don't skimp on the shipping, or else I will trap you in a box with an agitated gundog named Brie Larson. I would just force lightning you, but we don't have that in the effects budget. Now, back to the show.
All right. Let's talk a little nerd news. So we're going to start with Charlie Cox was recently at an event and being asked questions, and he was asked straight out if Daredevil, that I think that's the important distinction as well, because the article mentions something about that, is going to appear in Doomsday, and he said no. There's no plans for him to be in Doomsday or Daredevil to be in Doomsday.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, because they kept saying, "Oh, Daredevil hasn't made his MCU movie debut," because technically, no, he was just Matt Murdock. He wasn't in costume in No Way Home.
Right.
But and the article goes on to say that both season 2 is in production of Born Again and Doomsday. They're both in production right now, so that makes sense why he wouldn't be in it. But I also would like to point out that Marvel stars have a tendency to lie about stuff like this.
Oh yeah.
Cox voice acted in Expedition 33. Just saying, Don.
Yeah, that's that game that he was telling me about, that turn-based game that
So
I would like to check out at some point for sure.
So like, one question, does this surprise you at all? Because I think it's pretty much they have said for a while that they weren't going to be in there. And two, does it upset you at all that the boring superhero won't be in Doomsday?
Yeah. No, it's not a surprise. And it makes sense because, like you're saying, the boring, or as I would say, because I know I'm by the street level hero, not being in Doomsday. I mean, unless, there's a need for lawyers in the multiverse, don't see I don't see either Daredevil or Matt Murdock just having much to do with any of that. It makes complete sense. And I also feel that the Daredevil show that just finished, I did not get a sense of people like clamoring for more. I felt people wanted more Punisher John Bernthal than Charlie Cox. So and that could just be me, but it makes sense. No, I'm not upset. So there you have it.
Real quick, Kassan says, I don't see how Daredevil can't be in Doomsday when Black Widow was in all the Avengers fighting space aliens and gods. Oh, yeah. I agree with that. I don't think it's about power level thing. I mean, I get why you're saying that, because Don did just say street level hero. I think with the Daredevil thing, it's a different generation now. Like, of course, we're all still around who watched the Netflix show, but that's all we had. It was that and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for TV stuff, and then we had the movies.
Yeah.
And now we've got Disney Plus shows that have the actual characters from the movies. So it's like, yeah, I get what you're saying, and I think
they're getting away from that, though. We might talk
Yeah.
about that more in Ironheart, but I think they're getting away from that.
And you're right, the Punisher can be a more exciting character because he kills. So I don't know. Though, you know what? Now that we're talking about Doomsday, I forgot I wanted to bring this up too. I was watching Screen Crush the other day, and they have a theory. Now remember, this is just a theory that they have, and they do this stuff all the time, that the version of Doom in Doomsday is a Tony Stark variant. It's not Victor Von Doom. And the reason he becomes Doom in their theory anyway. In it is he actually survives the snap, and but in the battle, perhaps Pepper dies, and he lives. And if you go and look at the trajectory of uh, um, Tony Stark in the MCU, it was always about putting a suit of armor around the world to protect it. And if he could use the stones and survived, why not use them to quote unquote protect the world and then get to the point where he's controlling everything?
Yeah.
And then starts going into other timelines and stuff to quote unquote, save them or whatever. It's not a bad theory. I don't know. And they're spinning that off of the Russo brothers did recently make a comment that the only Robert Downey Jr. could play this version of Doom, and it does spawn from the snap. What happens in Doom spawned from the snap. So that's what they're basing their whole thing on. I don't totally disagree with it, but I don't think
that's a lot better. It's a lot better than saying Robert Downey Jr. is playing Victor Von Doom. Is to say, no, Robert Downey Jr. is playing a variant of Doom that also happens to be Tony Stark.
Yeah.
With that said, though, I guess the pill that I'm finding hard to swallow is, well, this is a hell of a way to introduce the Doom character. I guess I feel like he shouldn't be introduced this way. We should actually be introduced to the real Victor Von Doom in a Fantastic Four movie. We should get the character development between Victor Von Doom and Reed Richards and Sue Richards, so that when Secret War finally gets here, and the fact that Doom made it so that all of Reed Richards' family now loves him. Well, that kind of means something. You're like, ooh, what a kick in the balls, Doom. But now we're kind of getting this weird multiverse Tony Stark Doom, and the God Emperor Doom, which happened way later in Doom's history in the comics.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm keeping an open mind, but I'm just very leery, and this is totally going to ruin the actual, when we get actual Victor Von Doom reveal at some point.
Yeah. No, I agree that if they do this and it is a Tony Stark variant, and then he becomes a two and done, these two movies, maybe he pops up in one of the movies in between or so, and then he's done. You've just ruined 90% people's favorite Marvel villain. You brought him in and got rid of him. So now you're going to try to bring in the real Doom, and people are going to be like, we just had it and it was a variant. And why are you doing this? So yeah, I think, I said this when it was introduced, and JD, our former co-host, was all excited about the idea because, oh, it's Robert Downey Jr., blah, blah. But it's but I think you're ruining the potential to have a great villain just because one of your actors got in trouble and you decided to fire them.
Right. When they really shouldn't have gotten in trouble. That's a whole nother episode I've done before. So here's, get ready to clip it. This is how we're going to get famous.
Okay.
But no, here's what this means, because I think we're right when we say, hey, this kind of ruins the introduction of the character Doom. And since we know that this multiverse saga is going to end and then going to kind of get at least a soft reboot into the new MCU X-Men universe, what that tells me is that after this Doom is done, it's going to be another 5-10 years at least before they even come back to the Fantastic Four in Victor Von Doom. So that's my prediction. So in 10 years,
let's clip this. Yes,
we can
mark our words. Long time before you get Doom again after I was gonna say Doomsday, but I meant
Secret
Wars.
Wars.
Yeah.
Pack it and ship it. Yep.
Pack it and ship it. Yep. You heard it here first, folks. Well, that's a good segue. Speaking of the Fantastic Four, they dropped the last trailer, and apparently it's not clobbering time. It's beard time.
Yeah.
What the heck? I thought that was so weird. Like, so when you had the Mike Chiklis Doom in the Fantastic Four movies, he kind of I wouldn't say leaned into it, but they did use the catchphrase quite a few times. It's clobbering time. I think in the Fan Four Stick he said it once in the movie, and then maybe twice, but definitely I know he definitely said it once. And then now in this, they're going to make it like, oh, that's in the cartoon. I don't actually say that. And him refusing to say it. It's going to be one of those annoying running gags until at the end when he's about to go punch, I guess, Silver Surfer or Galactus. He's going to go, it's clobbering time. And it's just like, yeah, but you're going to push it to death. I mean, you showed us 4 examples in this trailer of him saying he doesn't want to say it, which makes me think it's in the movie 20 times, and it's going to get old by the time we get to the end of the movie.
Okay, I guess I didn't think I guess I thought like, no, they're really gonna like not do this. Like, I think you're right. I think like he'll do it once.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's up with that? That sucks. Like, that's fucking Ben Grimm.
It's his catchphrase.
What he says, right? Like, hey, I was not aware up until now, and maybe I should have been, that the Fantastic Four, like they're doing the Logan thing, which I hated, which had the X-Men comic in it. I hated that, and so I hate this. Like, oh, that's in the cartoon. It's like, oh, okay, they're doing that thing. Doesn't ruin it for me, but what does is, you should never have to goad Ben Grimm into saying it's clobbering time. Ben Grimm just sits at home waiting for an opportunity to say it's clobbering time. So yeah, I don't know about that, man. I don't like it. Kassan's got a comment.
Yeah. No, Dave, this is now considered peak writing. Don't you get the joke? It'll get the crowd excited. It'll get them riled up. I mean, he's got a point. It's why they do it. It isn't, he's being sarcastic. It isn't about good writing. It's about hooking the crowd, getting them to go, oh, I got to see the movie if he does say it. Or
Okay, but what's going to get, all right, I know we'll never experience this again, but let's all go back when we're in the theaters to Avengers Endgame. That's right, Captain America, he gets Mjolnir. I know you hate when I say that, Mjolnir. And then Avengers Assemble, and we're all clapping, right? That's where I remember that. So that's the moment that they're joking over here. Is there could be a legitimate, it's clobbering time, and we're all fucking clapping and going crazy in the theater because we've been waiting, how many years to see a thing that actually looks like the thing, say the thing. But now you've made it into the joke, so I don't know. That sucks.
Yeah. And then the beard thing was weird. Like,
yes, I was not familiar with.
It was in the comics at one point, and I'm sure it's going to be a quick 2-minute joke in the movie. There's going to be something where he can like change his face, change some of his features a little bit. He can control it, so he gives himself a beard, and then it's going to be like, okay, why, So
yeah, honestly, and in that scene that they showed in the trailer where he's up in the sky and Johnny Storm's telling him say it, and he's like, no. Like, I thought that was just his like chin expanding from the air, which I thought was weird. I had to read something. I was like, oh no, that's a beard.
Yeah.
Which I was not familiar with things beard game. Weird choice, but whatever,
Yeah, it's a weird choice. I don't know who, and maybe I'm wrong. And if you're a Fantastic Four fan, who's read all the comics, you tell me, is that something you wanted to see in live action? Was the Thing's beard?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like when Colossus does it. It's pretty cool. So,
yeah, everyone in the MCU is going to have beards now.
It's kind of the thing.
Sometimes. All right. Let's real quick do a little Star Wars news. So
Little.
we watched that show, Skeleton Crew. Remember?
Yep.
And Jude Law was in it playing Jodna Wood. Is that how you say it? He's
Yeah.
the
Sure.
pirate who
It was a little bit force sensitive. Yeah.
looking for At-Atten, found it, wanted to steal all the money. It is now rumored that they haven't specified which projects, but it is now rumored that he will be in several projects coming up. And so, and I'm trying to remember, what do they ever say what the time frame is?
Yep.
For Skeleton Crew, is it post Jedi or is it during?
Exactly.
Okay.
Nope. Post Jedi.
So
that tells us a bit there.
Yeah.
Because if he's a character that exists post Jedi, then again we got the Mandalorian movie, we got Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
I really do think we're gonna go back and do some Luke shit. So yeah, I mean that's what that tells. I don't know why everyone loves that character so much. I really didn't find him to be that interesting. Maybe just a lot of people are Jude Law fans, and I'm indifferent.
Yeah, I think that's part of it.
Yeah, it must be, because I really don't care about that character, but I am excited to hear that he's coming back because of what it overall means for what we're gonna get. And I think this is, and I want to see it too. I don't mean to say like all the other people want to see it, and I don't. But everyone wants to see this post Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker, and okay, let's give it to him. You know,
I'm pretty sure I remember them asking Jude Law if he would want to continue playing the character, and he said yes. And I also could have swore he had said at one point, I don't think you haven't seen the last of him, you know. So I have a feeling he signed a contract already that said he would be in several things.
Yeah.
So,
and now, of course, remember we talked a little bit about the Star Wars Tales of the Underworld, where we see this Jedi Underground Railroad, I guess I'll describe it as. So, like, he could be part of that. I don't know. There's a lot to explore now.
So you want to see Luke with or without green alien milk?
I knew as soon as I saw that in the theaters, I was like, "Oh, people are going to bitch about this."
It was gross and it was a weird scene. So yeah,
I know, but Luke was like trying to be weird. He was like trying to be like, look at all the shit I've been reduced to. Like, I'm hunting fish with spears and eating green milk right from the tit.
Yeah, milk right from the tit. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I definitely don't want that from Luke. I want to see him as the all-powerful Jedi, kicking ass, taking names. That's it.
I also would like to see more of it. I'm with you.
All right. Well, we shall see. We'll keep an eye on this going forward. And that's the news. So now we can get into our main topic here. And of course, that is the Ironheart premiered on Disney Plus yesterday. They dropped 3 episodes at once. I'm not a fan of that scheduling thing.
No, they did it. They did it with Andor, and I thought that they did it with Andor because of the way they paced Andor.
Right.
I didn't think they were going to continue on with something like that. It's like, God damn, because it's an hour-long show.
Yeah.
So again, it's not like I don't mind when it's like 15 minutes or a half hour, like it's okay. But boy, and maybe that's just bias from being on a superhero talk show that has to try and watch all that shit and then talk about it. But maybe for the regular person, that's an enjoyable thing. But boy, yeah, that's not a trend I favor.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because it's a hybrid, obviously, between Amazon releases their shows weekly, a lot of their shows weekly, and Netflix dumps them all at once. So, like, this is some kind of weird compromise, but there's been an argument made, and I thought Disney agreed with this at one point, but I guess not, is when you release them weekly, it keeps your show in the zeitgeist longer. It keeps people talking about it on social media longer. So it allows you to generate more buzz about the show and then generate more profit selling toys and whatnot related, which then makes me wonder if
here's another problem.
You could also flip it and say, well, maybe if people don't like it, they want it done quickly.
Well, I mean, that's Kassan's point here, with him saying with Andor, it was to show a complete arc. With Ironheart, it's because they want to dump it and forget it. And you mentioned, sell toys. And I know we haven't quite gotten into our thoughts on the show, but I will go ahead and air my complaint about this right now since it's more of an overall thing.
Okay.
I would expect this to be geared more toward teenagers and younger people.
Okay.
And with shit being said, like the word shit being said about every 10 seconds, I'm being dramatic about it, but
yeah,
it is a mature show.
It is.
And I would not expect them to sell it. I would expect them to sell this as, hey, look at all you young girls, you can be like Riri, which is great, you can get into science and stuff. Like, but yeah, I'm not going to let my daughters watch this.
You're a little younger than me, but when you were a kid in the 80s, did you have Rambo toys or RoboCop toys? Like,
oh, hell yeah. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, our parents took us to all that shit. I saw RoboCop 1 and 2 in the theater. So no, I'm right there with you. I'm not saying, but still, this is Disney.
Yeah,
this is Marvel. So yeah, I mean, listen, Tony Stark saying shit or fuck once in a movie, okay. Kids get a laugh. Because believe me, as I say this, I'm really not one of those parents that like cussing is like, oh my god, like I think it's kind of funny when a kid cusses, but I gotta watch it. I can't encourage it. But I just, with the language and everything in general, I was just like, boy, this is a way more adult tone than I would expect this show to be. I think that they would market this more to a younger crowd.
Yeah.
So, that's all. Right. I'll stop there with the.
Well, no, I mean, that's fine. I mean, that can easily lead us into what. So we both watched all 3 episodes, right?
Yep.
What did you like overall? At least, what are were your initial reactions to it? And,
okay.
What did you think?
Well, listen, it's a series on Disney Plus. Okay. So, I came at it with a positive attitude. I give it a lot of leeway as I would any show. That's just how I'm going to operate. So with that, I did not hate it. It is not horrible. It's not even bad per se.
Okay.
I don't like a lot of the characters. There's a lot of character development in these first 3 episodes, but there's just, I mean, there's this the group that she joins that does the illegal shit that she's helping, so that she can get money to upgrade her suit. Like, everyone on that crew has something about them to like. There's equal opportunity annoyers in that group, right? Like, there's somebody in that group that's going to annoy somebody for some reason. So I don't like any of I don't like any of the characters. I don't think the main villain it doesn't work for me at all. Particularly since he looks basically the same as he did in Twisters. So whenever that happens, I have a hard time. Like, hey, it's this guy from Twisters. It's
takes you out of the show.
Yeah. We'll get into that. I don't know if you want to get into quite spoilers yet, but then the kid he's not a kid. He's also not middle aged. The guy that collects all the weapons and shit in his nice
Right.
suburban house. Like, okay, is he the same guy playing Han Solo, or that played Han Solo in Solo Star Wars Story? He looks just like him. I kept seeing Han Solo from Solo Star Wars Story. I don't know. Maybe his son. I don't know. But that was I don't know. That
Yes,
was weird.
no, it is. It's
The
Alden
same dude.
Alden Enrich.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
guy
So
who played
same
Han
thing. I'm seeing Han Solo. Let's the writing is not great. There are things that they do that make absolutely no sense. Now, listen, this is a comic book movie. You have to suspend disbelief. I always say it about Star Wars, Space Wizard, laser swords, gravity in space. So I will suspend disbelief, no problem. But when you set something up in your own universe and then do something that doesn't make sense, that's where I start to say, the writing's not great. I'm still struggling to know when in Earth's history is this MCU even happening, because it seems very futuristic, and they continue with that trend. I mean, I get Wakanda. I get it. Wakanda should be super futuristic, but I don't know. Now there's holographic screens and bullet. I don't know. There's just all sorts of technology that shouldn't exist out of Wakanda. So yeah, I mean I'm okay with it. I didn't like it, but it's not horrible. The writing's not great, but I give it a lot of leeway because it's just a show.
So what do you like? The pew pew and the boom boom?
I do like the pew pew and the boom boom.
Okay. Sorry.
That is what I come for.
I come for the boom boom and I stay for the pew pew.
Yeah.
All right. This is going to get a little spoilerish too, but
okay, we're into spoilers now. Let's go.
Like, so Riri Williams, Ironheart, right? She helped defend Wakanda against the Atlantean army led by Namor in the last Black Panther movie. And she got a Tony Stark grant to go to MIT, a genius grant. Plus, she's friends with the Queen of Wakanda, who is the current Black Panther. And yet, she's got to do some shady stuff to make money to be able to build her suit that the Wakandans made for her in that movie. Anyone here like following the idea? It doesn't make sense. The plot,
this is what I'm talking about.
The plot of the show makes absolutely no sense.
And then if you forget all that, okay, she's doing the shady shit, which she got caught, gets expelled from MIT.
Yeah.
Okay. She grabs the suit. Okay. Flies off with it.
Oh, wait. Are you about to get to the thing that pissed me off the most?
Go ahead. Probably. So go for it.
So she takes the suit and it won't, and the AI that's running the suit is the AI program from MIT. And she takes the suit, and as she's flying away, the AI turns off, and then she's having a hard time getting to run in manual mode. She's supposed to be a genius. Right. A genius would not tie her suit into the AI that's dependent on the school. Like, because once she's done at the school, she can't use that AI anymore, right? Like, she's supposed to be a genius. Why isn't she writing her own AI program? And as a developer, there are plenty of tools out there that you can just download and create your own stuff. She could use freaking ChatGPT. Like, I mean, I know we're not talking that it's a really advanced AI, blah, blah, blah. But like, she, probably had access to some of Tony Stark's information. So the Wakandans have AI. They could help her develop an AI. Like,
yeah,
it makes no sense.
No, it really doesn't. And that's exactly what I was thinking too. Like, if she's so smart, then yeah, why hasn't she bypassed the AI? Like, because she kind of throws shades at Tony Stark, right? Like, oh, he had money. okay, what money did he have in a fucking cave when he built the arc reactor for the first time? So she's like, not to throw shade, but that's exactly what happened. Okay, but beyond that, whatever. She's not Tony Stark. But with that said, she's supposed to be like this Tony Stark equivalent. And like you said, she was already messing with the Wakandans. So like, yeah, she should have. Remember when Tony and Iron Man 2 went to the Senate and he instantly hacked their shit? Like, yeah, that part I do not get. Like,
that's the thing, right? Like, there is an outstanding arc with Tony and the MCU and in the comics a little bit too, that he doesn't need the suit in a way, right? Like, that's Iron Man 3. A lot of people don't like it, but that's the point of Iron Man 3, is that he is Iron Man even without the suit, which kind of gets thrown away later on, but that's a whole nother story. And the fact that, like, and that's even a thing in the first movie when Jebediah Stane is yelling at the guys who can't get the arc reactor to work, and he goes, Tony Stark made this work in a cave with spare parts. So if Riri's a genius, she should be able to build her suit with spare parts. And they kind of hint at that in when they introduced the character in Wakanda Forever, that she's building her suit with spare parts in a garage and then gets help from the Wakandans to finish it. But now all of a sudden she's still building the suit. Like, what's going on here? Like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And if she's a genius, and that's the thing, right? And okay, this might get us in trouble. I feel like on some level they're trying to make it a race thing. She's having difficulty doing this because she's not white, because she doesn't have the privilege of the billionaire class, she doesn't
I don't think it's much to do with race, Dave, but I definitely I guess I took it more as like super anti-capitalist propaganda a little bit.
All right. Okay. I was going to say, I'll take that. I'll take that. Okay, fine. Anti-capitalist. But again, Tony proved he can do the stuff with spare parts in a garage. He can go to a Home Depot and get stuff to make things that he needs, because he does that in Iron Man 3. He builds the
that
first
line should not have been in there. It just shouldn't have.
So the whole thing of like, you can't do it unless you got the money, the billionaires, and like, no, they spent a bunch of movies and telling a story of a guy who could do it with spare parts. Now all of a sudden, like, once he got home and he had all the technology and everything and he had his money, it was easier to build better suits. But he could still build a working suit in a cave with an arc reactor to save himself. Like, so why are we throwing all of that idea away to now tell a new story with a character who is, in some ways a carbon copy? Because, it's just a person in a suit who's supposed to be a genius. Okay, fine. But like, then just show them being a genius and doing this. Like, she gets like this having this sub story of the story of she's got to get involved with this gang to make money to build justify a suit. It was just like, and then how she created the AI that she is using was just silly.
I didn't quite get that at all, honestly. And I don't like that at all. If they were going to go the AI route, I would have much rather them gone the comic book route of Tony Stark being the AI.
Which is, that's the thing, right? Like, obviously they couldn't get Robert Downey Jr. to, it would have made the show too expensive to have him come in and film some stuff. So, they just went this route with her being her best friend that died.
I don't know. I mean, I'm that sucks. I don't get it. But okay, before we move on from this scene though, my other major complaint here, and again, this could be a product of us not exactly knowing where in the timeline this is happening, But you're telling me someone's going to get an Iron Man suit, fly from MIT up to New York?
Chicago.
Chicago.
So even further.
And nobody gonna. It's cool. No problem.
On a planet that had couple alien invasions and
right.
And a battle for the universe, half the life in the universe. Yeah, we're just gonna let this unidentified flying object go.
Was funny.
Where in the first movie, as soon as Tony went flying around in his suit,
he's got fucking F-35 Raptors on his fucking flank.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was funny when she was walking home with her suit half off because she crashed. When someone was like, "You need a Band-Aid or a ice pack or something." I don't know. That was funny. Okay, but I'll say so that's my thoughts on the first 10 minutes, right? When she escapes and all that. That's where. So yeah, she makes it home. She's now back home. She's got her suit, and she decides, okay, I got to go help do illegal shit for more money. Okay. And she meets up with this criminal group, the Ocean's 11 type group that are doing these heists. And like I said, every one of these characters there's something unlikable about each one of them to everybody, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't make. I mean, the Eric Andre stuff was kind of funny. Call Me Rampage, but yeah, no, that criminal group. So two things that I just was really like, oh, this is taking me out of it. Is that criminal group is made up of, like I said, the little guy from Twisters, the Hood, the main villain type guy, which does wear. At first, I'm like, why is he wearing this funky hood? Nobody else is wearing any sort of superhero type garb. Why is he wearing this pleather hood? But we do find out that it gives him like powers. Okay, cool. I'm with that. So you got him though, and his friend, this other dude that tattoos over his scars or whatever you call them that the Hood's giving him, which is another dumb thing that makes no, just covered up with tattoos, no problem. But then there's a trans dude, two lesbians that just like to fight no matter what. And their tech guy, which was played by Eric Andre, and I can't remember his real name was, but he just kept saying, "Call me Rampage." And so it's like, and they're all very small. Yet they go into a room full of male security guards and just are completely like they're the greatest ninja squad ever created somehow. And okay, so I can suspend that disbelief, but their whole play is to blackmail CEOs into signing a contract that give them some sort of profit sharing. Like,
that's the other major plot hole. It's like
a contract signed under duress is not valid.
Is not valid. Exactly. It's not legal at all. This idea, and like, what are they like? A contract is just a piece of paper. What are they going to do if they don't honor the contract? You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing.
Go to the police and say, "Hey, I broke into this place and killed some guards, and you got him to sign it, and he's not listening to me."
Right.
So, yeah.
You know, like, oh, he put a virus into the system that allows them to control it. Well, they'll just fix that hole. They'll just fix the software and like, and then not honor the contract. Like, it doesn't. It's stupid. Like, I don't know who wrote this, but it was just like, really, like, and the thing is, here's the thing: if they were playing this show off as a comedy, all right, I would let that go. But it's no, like, this is a serious show, and that's supposed to be like believable that you can like basically put a gun to someone's head, make them sign a contract, and it's legally binding. You know, like, yeah. and it would make more sense if it was done in a way where they had dirt on these CEOs, and they were like, "We'll expose this to the world if you don't sign this contract." That would work. But no, they go on these elaborate jobs to like hack the system and then go, okay, we've got the system hacked, so if you want control back, you've got to sign this. Like,
Yeah.
no, you're criminals. Like, you think you're gonna just get away with this? Like, you don't think they're not gonna go to the FBI or the CIA or whatever, and they're gonna track the accounts where this money's going and catch you and arrest you? Like, this doesn't make any sense. The more I talk about it, the more I'm not liking it. What is
I mean,
Thrawn?
I'm kind of getting sucked into that with you. But okay, Thrawn, are the squad getting an upgrade from the hood guy? That's why they're good at being criminals now? No, they
No,
get no such upgrade.
right, right.
He's the only one that uses any sort of powers, which he can use visibility, invisibility, and he can do the thing they did in that dumb movie Wanted, where they curve the bullets.
Yeah, and the other thing is, uh, and then bringing Riri
Fucking
in has the
stupid.
suit, which is
Yeah.
essentially like powers. And other than that, everyone is like, one person's a bomb expert, one person's a hacker.
Yeah.
Two of them are supposed to be these like amazing fighters, and it's just like, okay, but
Which are
like,
about 5 feet tall each.
right,
But
yeah. That takes a lot of suspension of disbelief. Those two little girls, like, nah, sorry, it doesn't work. That's not how real life works. You're not
No.
going to go up to a 6-foot dude and take him down. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter how much muscle the woman thinks they have. Men are
Like I've seen videos of like a woman trying to like Hurricane Rada a big dude, and it did not go well.
Dave, why do you want writers? This is Kassan. I mean, why do you want writers to use plausible motive and solutions? It's Ironheart. Pew pew boom boom.
Well, okay, and it's funny, Kassan. I get what you're laying down. But I guess that's where I'm okay with it. Is we get some comic book. It's still a comic book story, so I can't suspend disbelief. I think some of the writing is dumb, but it's only a show, and it did have some okay action. So I mean, that's why I don't hate it.
Yeah,
I'm not
okay.
taking it seriously. I guess I don't have to
That's
because it's just.
I will say that too. Right, like, there are things in this show that it's hard to suspend disbelief, but at the same time, it's also what you call it. Like, there are cool scenes in it, cool action scenes, but the premise around the show makes no sense. That it's, again, she already had the suit, so making that her motivation doesn't work. There's 1,000 different ways you could have made her. Again, if you made these guys smart and able to blackmail people, they could have blackmailed her to join the gang.
Thrawn says Spy Kids seriously. Yeah, they did mention that. Couple Star Wars references too, by the way. So I don't know if I appreciate that or.
So, what was the other thing I was going to say?
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just like, oh, right, like they could have. That was the other thing. So in the comics, her Natalie, her best friend who gets killed in the when her stepdad and her best friend gets killed. I don't know if her stepdad's in the comics, but the best friend is. And in the comics, she gets killed when she's 13. Right?
Yeah.
And I feel like when they do the flashback scene where she is killed, they're trying to make them look younger because they make Riri have like the pigtails on her head, and the way that they're kind of dressed. I feel like they're trying to give you a feeling like, yeah, they're definitely younger than Riri is now. But that would mean that the AI would be a kid, not Natalie as she would be today.
Right.
So that's kind of like bothering me a little. And I like, and here's the thing, I think it would have had way more of an impact if they had gotten younger actresses to play them as 13-year-olds and then have that younger actress be the AI. Then it would have been more like, oh my God, it's really is someone from your past that's dead that's talking to you, and it
Yeah.
bothers you. But no, they just, it's just, and then of course, if the show continues on and goes on for a couple of years, she's going to age, and that doesn't make any sense.
Well, listen, that whole thing with the best friend being the AI probably annoys me the most.
Yeah.
Because they even go to explain. So, other spoiler alert here is the guy I talked about that she meets up with because he's got all the missiles and doomsday devices.
Uh-huh.
They reveal that's Obadiah Stane's son.
Yes.
And he's got his dad's ashes in a Ziploc bag on his kitchen counter. Which
I forgot about that part. Yeah, which was
Yeah.
weird, but yeah.
I just, how do you feel about, I guess, how do you feel about that little tie-in? Because it's like they're trying to tie this into the Iron Man movies, but they're trying to differentiate her from him. But then here we go with Obadiah Stane's son.
It's a weird way to tie it in, and like, but the thing is, they're going to do, they're trying to do it where it's a redemption arc in a way for Ezekiel, or Joe, whatever he's going to go by in the show.
Weird names in that family. We got Ezekiel, Obadiah. Like, what are they, Amish? They live by John?
Yeah, Obadiah. I kept saying Jebediah, but Obadiah stayed. But yeah, like, but it only works is if you get, oh my God, who's the actor who played Obadiah?
Jeff Bridges?
It only works if you get Jeff Bridges in a flashback with his kid and show their relationship, and then show him trying to like have a redemption arc for it. If you're just going to mention him, what's the point? It doesn't make any sense. And how did he get all this stuff? And like, why did he collect all this stuff and he's not doing anything with it until Riri shows up? Like, it's silly.
Well, and then so the kind of cliffhanger that we're left with, because everything gets fucked up.
Wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
James says it's not that weird. His dad's in his garage, but is your dad in a coffee can and in a plastic bag in a coffee can in the garage, or is in a proper urn?
Yeah, is he in a Ziploc freezer bag there, James?
So anyway, go ahead.
Oh fuck, where was I going with that shit? Oh no, so the kind of cliffhanger though that we're left with is again, Riri's running around with this crew, and they've got to do this heist. And in order to do this heist, she has to use technology that Joe made. But he's super like, hey, I don't want, no, you can't use this because it's going to come back to me, like blah, 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 blah. Then she convinces him, hey, let me use this thing. I promise it won't come back on you. And what happens? It falls off of her. And now she's like, on top of everything getting screwed up,
you know what?
Now she's going to get Joe in the mix. And maybe we'll learn more about where he got all this shit, or what, maybe we'll learn more about that when they FBI raids him. I don't know.
That whole, oh my God, that whole fake skin thing was stupid and ridiculous for oh my God. First off, okay, she goes to his house and he sliced his arm open because he's trying to put a chip in his body, which doesn't make any sense. And he's got this giant slice in his arm, and she just like, and it's not working. So she pulls the chip out and then like wraps his arm up. No. That needed stitches. You're not going to put disinfectant on that and wrap it up. But the whole thing was too, she was there because he had this artificial skin that she wanted to use.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do a whole scene where she puts a piece of it on the thing and it shows it healing it up? Like, oh, cool. This is something. And then she's on this mission and she wants to have this laser cutter with her and she wants it hidden from, he's got this weird detector that detects devices that aren't known in the room. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because it should have gone off when the hood showed up. Period. Like it doesn't work. Like detector only works if it should detect people coming in, not an unknown device.
Right.
But like it looked like the whole time it looks like just a piece of cloth on her arm with the little laser cutter pointed sticking out. Like
yeah, it's real jank looking.
If this is bio mesh skin, it should like form to her arm and not be able to fall off. But of course, she fought that guy John, and it fell off during the fight and got left behind. And it's just like that was so poorly done. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. All right. So now the big question. Because like I had texted you, Dave, Mephisto Watch is back on. So let me ask you, I actually do think that the Hood character, is in some sort of deal with Mephisto. Okay. What do you think? Would you like that?
Here's the thing.
Too little, too late.
Sacha Baron Cohen is rumored to be playing Mephisto, and the rumor is that it was going to be an Ironheart. So,
okay. I do vaguely remember hearing something about Sacha Baron Cohen playing Mephisto and thinking how incredibly dumb that was. We'll see though. I'll be open-minded. I thought somebody like Charles Dance or somebody should do Mephisto, but I realize he's a little bit older actor, but I like his acting. But okay. All right. Well, there we go then. Mephisto's here.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it makes sense. The Hood gets his powers from basically that like kind of deal. So tying it in with Mephisto works. So we'll see. I think that's an interesting choice. All right. So okay. Kasan says, Dave, why are your expectations so high? It's a comic book show. Who cares if they invested quality into it? And then he says, comic book fans aren't smart enough or discerning enough to want quality. You know what? I know you're being sarcastic, but that's highly offensive. So here's the thing, and I this is gonna maybe this is gonna sound cruel. I don't know. Ironheart is not a beloved character, right? Like the only beloved characters that have been introduced in the last 25 years are Miles Morales, Spider-Man, the Miles Morales Spider-Man, and Miss Marvel, right? Like they're the character; those characters are endearing, people like them, and they are popular. Ironheart was just like, she felt like you're just doing this for the sake of diversity in the comics. The character didn't take off. People didn't buy the book. So if now you're going to try to force her down our throats in this show, you better come with your A game. That's my argument.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would definitely share those sentiments. Oh, we're going long. Spidey turned off.
Yeah.
But I'm going to, I guess, echo Kasan. I really do think that they invested enough in this to where they're like, okay, we can't completely scrap it, so let's finish it up. Because I think I don't even know how many episodes there are. There might only be 6. We might only get one other week of this show. It just, maybe something that there's, fuck it, we made it, put it out there, and Fantastic Four will wash the bad taste of everybody's mouth here in 4 weeks. That's I think they know they don't have gold here.
Yeah, it's a total of 6 episodes.
Oh, well, there you go. So yeah, they're gonna shove it in before Fantastic.
You know what? Four. Yeah, that makes sense too, because the show ends. The 3rd episode also ends with Hood finding out that Riri essentially killed his best friend John,
his tattoo artist.
So obviously, the next 3 episodes are going to be him going after her. So yeah, you're at your climax. That's your climax. Him finding that and she didn't essentially kill him directly. She left him trapped in the room and he suffocated. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, and Kassan said it too. Like maybe they're just trying to get it dumped out there. Like I think if they
I think if
they thought the show had legs, they would have released it. One a week. Yeah.
Like I got the impression, and I know you've asked about other shows before, but I definitely got the impression, this is like pre-Trump victory, show, with all just the anti-capitalism and the rich versus poor, which I've got nothing against, but I particularly with again the crew, the Ocean's 11 bad guy crew, just very in your face kind of liberal stuff, which I'm liberal on some things, so I'm not bagging against it, but right. it's pretty overt here. I think they're like, okay, it's probably not going to work too good.
I also think, it's funny, right? Because I do think we've had this discussion before. There was a different thought mindset of what the people thought the country wanted, and this show has been in production for a while. It wasn't like they didn't just introduce this idea. They've been talking about the show for years, since Wakanda Forever, and it took a long time to get it finished. So yeah, probably the script. See, and that's another thing too. I'm really wondering, 2022, so 3 years in making this show. I wonder if the script has been changed a little bit since then as well, and maybe that's why a lot of the stuff doesn't make sense in this show. Like her motivation just doesn't work. It really doesn't. Because that's another thing too. They keep asking her, well, why did you build an Iron Man suit? And she goes, because I could. And that's it. That's her only answer. And like, I'm sure that's going to lead up to something at the end of the show. Like she feels vulnerable and she put the suit on to feel protected. Like, because of what happened to her stepfather and best friend. Like, that makes sense. And if they don't go that route, then yeah, this is just this is bad. So, but you know what? You guys don't let our negativity influence you. You go watch the show and let us know what you think, and then we'll discuss it next we'll gotta finish watching it if it's only 3 more episodes.
Yeah. No, I want to see the conclusion. Again, I do give it a lot of leeway because I didn't have to go to the theater and spend all that money. So yeah, it's not horrible. May have given you that impression.
Yeah. Yeah, because the other thing is, like, I did also pose the question, like, well, how do you think this is going to affect the MCU going forward? I don't think it is. I don't think this show's
this show seems like it is in a vacuum. Kind of going back to my point of like, how the fuck is she going to get an Iron Man suit and fly all the way from MIT to Chicago and no one gives a fuck? Like, this show, other than Iron Man and Obadiah Stane, like, there's not much MCU in this MCU show.
No. So, all right. Well, that is Ironheart. Again, don't let our old man negative attitudes affect your decision to watch it or not. But you probably shouldn't. All right. Let's ask that question we do every show.
What did we learn on the show tonight?
So what did you learn, or you have recommendations, or both, Don?
Well, I learned on the show that Kassan would hit a wall. Let me find it here. Sorry. Oh, okay. I should have prepped for this better. But anyway, Kassan was saying that if we gave the Ironheart Shore more than a 5, that he would hit a wall. And, I don't want to do that, but I would give it at least a 5. So, recommendations. Yeah, I don't know. Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War. Season 3, I know it's been out for a while. As far as anime goes, I actually don't like Bleach that much. But I like Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War. They go 1,000 times more harder. So I would recommend that.
All right. James says he learned that just because you can build an Iron Man suit doesn't mean you should. I like that answer. I learned that I can easily be disappointed and have high expectations, even on a Marvel show. I kind of thought they were going to go a different direction with this. I was hoping of something with more substance instead of just,
yeah, man,
some liberal talking points wrapped in kind of more superhero show.
Yeah, I mean, I was really, I wouldn't say we had high expectations, but I definitely expected this to be like one of those shows with like an uplifting message for girls, and oh look, this girl is just as smart as Tony Stark, which the Riri Williams in the comics is way smarter than the Riri Williams in this show. But yeah, I know I'm a guy and everything, but I have a wife, I have 2 daughters, so I'm not against some female empowerment. And I was expecting that here, and I kind of getting it, I guess, but I guess it's a mature theme, so I can't like say, hey,
you know what,
girls, watch this.
That's the disappointing thing in this show. I felt like in Wakanda Forever, they did a decent job of showing her as even though she was a minor character, they did a better job of showing her as a genius and a capable person and a good person. And I feel like they kind of threw that all away in this and took away her power in a way, like she can't do anything without the suit. She isn't smart enough to figure out, hey, don't be dependent on the school's AI. Like you like you said, she's much smarter in the comics, and I feel like they took that away from her in this show, and yeah, it's a disappointment. Recommendations, I don't have any at the moment. I don't. I wish I did. Yeah. I recommend that you go watch Daredevil Born Again season 1 because it's better than Ironheart. So yeah, that's it. Was there a suit in Wakanda Forever rental?
Yeah, must have been.
No, because it's the same suit at the beginning of the show.
I get it. I don't get it at all.
I mean, and here's the thing, right? She's got that, like, you've seen the clip. She's got that iPhone-looking white suit at some point in the show. So she's definitely going to upgrade the suit before the end of it. And she's not going to have... And you know what? That's you know what? I'm super pissed. Because now that she's friends with Ezekiel, he's going to give her all the crap she needs to build the perfect Ironheart suit, so she never needed to get involved with these idiots in the first place. All right, I'm done. I'm so done. All right, on that note, boys and girls, that's it. As always, thanks for watching, and don't let your cape get caught in the door. See you next time.
If you haven't done so yet, subscribe. It really keeps this podcast alive. Smash the like button if you please. It gives us what we need. Maybe leave a comment or 2. It's a really nice thing to do. And what are you waiting